Welcome to the program FW Engdahl. My first question is regarding your article which is published recently, in which you have mentioned that America is in Afghanistan primarily to control the opium business, the drug business in Afghanistan, and because of Afghanistan's geostrategic importance. Now, with the American and NATO troops and forces, they are having very stiff resistance from the Taliban and the opponents in Afghanistan. In your opinion, how America and its allies can cope with this situation, and how, according to you, they can control the drug business from Afghanistan?
If you look at the United Nations statistics for opium cultivation and harvest in Afghanistan, the last year of Taliban rule before the invasion in 2001, end of 2001, 2002, the opium harvest was almost reduced to zero under the Taliban regime. Since that time, since the American occupation of Afghanistan, it has increased every single year since to a record harvest in 2007, 2008. The United States government officially announced earlier this year that they're not even going to bother with a war on drugs in Afghanistan because it's fruitless. Well, I think that's a very telling remark and a confession of honesty for a change from Washington. But the flows of drugs, I think we're looking at a repeat of what happened during the Vietnam War in Laos and other countries, where U.S. intelligence agencies channeled narcotics in various routes into the West and used the profits for their black operations around the world. How these profits are being used, of course, I can't say, but one can only suspect that some of the troubled banks in New York are doing a lucrative business in Kabul as bankers for some of these warlords. The other part of the presence, that I don't think is the main reason the U.S. went into Afghanistan, and certainly it wasn't to go after Osama bin Laden, someone they themselves trained during the Mujahideen period. I think the real purpose is to have a military striking point, a series of air bases in the heart of Central Asia or the heart of Asia, where U.S. military force can strike at China, can strike at Russia, and the Shanghai Cooperation Organization countries that link up all of Eurasia in the last several years.
Okay.
So I think that's the real purpose of it. It's a long-term purpose, and it's a military purpose to prevent any emerging coalition of forces that could challenge American hegemony.
Well, just for a second, if we deny your theory, what you have mentioned in that article and in your various of your interviews which you have given to international media, there is no doubt that Shanghai Cooperation Organization is getting very strong as the time goes by. But on the other hand, if we look at the Obama's administration's foreign policy and the recent visit of President Obama to the Asian countries, including China, we see that there is a lot of the reconciliatory mode and the good gestures being shown towards China and Russia and other countries of the region. So, given circumstances, do you think that President Obama's foreign policy, it will change the American mindset which we have been attributing to the neocons in the previous years?
No, not at all. If you look, the Secretary of Defense is even the same individual, Robert Gates, a longtime protege of the Bush family as CIA director and now as Defense Secretary. The policy of Obama was immediately to start talking about increasing troop strength in Afghanistan rather than questioning what role at all, if any, the U.S. should play in Afghanistan in the first place. So there is no foreign policy change with Obama. What we see is old wine in new bottles, if you will. It's a new Madison Avenue public relations pitch. The soothing words and friendly gestures are not what nations like China or Pakistan or Afghanistan want or need from a U.S. president at this point. They want concrete, positive measures. And one of the most urgent positive measures is that the U.S. Stop making unauthorized air attacks on Pakistani civilians on the border areas and also on Afghans. They want to sort out the mess in their own country after, 35 years of continuous occupation and wars. And I can understand that point very well.
Okay, there is a conspiracy theory, or what should we say about it, and that the Muslim world is suspicious about the American designs in the region, especially after 9/11 it attacked Afghanistan, then it attacked Iraq. Now the situation in Pakistan is getting worse day by day, and it's mainly due to American presence in Afghanistan. Do you think that the conspiracy theory based on the allegation or on the ideology that United States is all out to damage Muslims in the world due to one pretext or the other, especially when we look at the Pakistani situation, that the insurgency, the Taliban effort in Pakistan border areas, occupation, and Pakistan military troops, they are engaged in counter-insurgency, counter-terrorism effort on its borders and making Pakistan unstable, an insecure state. Do you think there is any link between American efforts and the state of affairs right now we are witnessing in Pakistan?
Of course there is. Of course there is. This is no theory. This is reality on the ground. And people throw out conspiracy theory to scare ordinary citizens from looking at the facts. But the facts are that look at the Pentagon's long-term strategic goals. They have a military alliance since 2006 approximately with India. That's to get a foothold on the Asian subcontinent. It's not with Pakistan, it's with India. They also are trying to woo Pakistan away from its long-term friendly relationship, cooperation with China, and encircle China at the same time in the same way that they encircled Russia with the Orange Revolution in 2004 in Ukraine that put a pro-U.S. dictator Yushchenko into power. The same in Georgia with the Rose Revolution in 2003, which put Saakashvili, a little more than a mobster who does the bidding of Washington, and to encircle Russia, to simply prevent any kind of peaceful cooperation of the nations of Asia and Eurasia. There's no question about it that that's the U.S. Pentagon strategy. Full spectrum dominance is the title of my book, Totalitarian Democracy in the New World Order. And it just documents case after case. And once you look at a map of Eurasia and look at the presence of U.S. forces, there's no question that this is what's going on.
If Pakistan is getting unstable and extremism is on the rise, do you think will it serve American purpose? And if you make 170 million people of Pakistan extremists after the policies of America in the region, will it serve American long-term purpose, or will it serve NATO allies or even Indian purpose, that everybody in Pakistan, even the moderates, they become extremists because of American policies in the region?
Yeah, well, I think you just described it quite well. The long-term strategy of the U.S. is very well served by. Why did they define the war on terror after September 2001 in the way they did? It's the strategy of Samuel Huntington and others in Washington to create an enemy image to replace the enemy image for American citizens of communism during the Cold War. And in this image, the war on terror, and you have pictures on American television of Osama bin Laden, or someone who claims to be Osama bin Laden with this long beard and this headdress and so forth. So most Americans are fairly simple people, and they think, well, every Muslim is a potential terrorist. I better be careful when I go grocery shopping here in Detroit or some other city, and not allow my children to be